Welcome to the second part of this special camping operation. I have Lars, the tank commander, who is now going to be a vehicle commander, as you can see here. We are going on an expedition on a village that he talked about. You've already seen videos where I look at houses that are abandoned. Now we're going to an entire village. This is going to be day 2, part 2 of the special camping operation. So let's get it started. All right, as you already know now, Lars is going to be driving to this place, but we don't know if we can actually get there entirely by car. If not, then we'll have to walk. I'll turn the camera around so you can see a POV of the vehicle commander in action. It's a bumpy ride. What a smooth operator. It's crazy.
Just because the wheels are a little bit too big.
Yeah. It's a bumpy road. It's really shaky. I hope that you're not getting dizzy from watching this video. We're gonna go check now the road that might cause us a problem. If it's a problem, we'll leave the car here, and if it's not, we'll drive up. Let's turn the camera around for you so you can see what we're gonna be trying to go up. The village sits right on this hill. You can see Lars is up there inspecting the road, and we came from this direction. Senia's in there waiting. The purpose of this expedition on part 2 is because I love seeing old things, and Lars mentioned, hey, right close to the campsite there may be another village that's abandoned. We can go check it out. It hasn't been inhabited in so many years. Nobody lives there. Nobody has anything to do with this place anymore, but it's basically a time capsule, and I want to check it out. I'm about halfway up. Lars says he's gonna give it a try. Let's see how it goes. This is gonna be very, very interesting, because if we get stuck, we have to go get the tank to pull us out. But I trust Lars. He's a great operator. Here he comes. So far, so good, guys. Great little machine. We'll hop on and get that view from the inside. Krasavchik, Lars. All right, we're in business. Looks like he made it. Awesome.
Just try and go where the Neva goes.
There was a lot of Neva that came up the hill. Lars saw it, and he followed the tracks. All right, let's make it to this village. Yeah. Well, Lars managed to get us through the entire road in his awesome vehicle. The village is behind us, and there's a lot of houses here. There's a lot to explore, so I want to get right into it. If you follow me, we can turn around. And just from sight, there's 1, 2, 3, there's another building over there. So we're just gonna look around and hopefully we find something very interesting for you. for anybody who says, hey, you need to get permission by the owners or the family, the buildings that we're going to see right now have been abandoned for so long. And if there's any authority, it's Lars out here, because he lives out here in the wilderness. And this village, he says that there's basically a kilometer of houses. You know, this seems like an old road. There's a house on the left, a house on the right. This might have been an old road, perhaps 50 to 100 years ago, easily.
Oh yeah, we have building from the Tsar period out there.
So, there's a what?
Building from the SARS area before 1917.
Unbelievable. So, we're going to keep walking, and when I find a house that it's relatively safe to go inside, that's where you see us next. We're at the end of this road and head back out where we parked the car. Now, we won't go into much detail into each and every house because there's about 20 houses. But like I said, when we see something interesting, we will stop and investigate it further. And by the way, you know that I took some artifacts last time. If we do find some artifacts, we will take them. Why? Because out here they will rot. And when we get to 10,000 subscribers or more, I'll start giving some of these things away. And I'll have you more details on that. Let's get into the house now. We're in the front door of the first house. And it was pointed out to me by Lars that this wheel here is actually used back in the old days to ground what? Flour. So you would have another one, right? Another one that looks almost like this. And one of them would spin, probably this one. And it would grind the flour down.
Yeah.
So that's how the village people...
They will fill this hole there with flour. If you turn it around, then they can see it. Yeah, there.
Here's the hole.
Yeah.
You'd fill it with flour and it would just spin. Very cool. Let's get in to the house. A really good way of seeing what time periods people lived here is if you find newspapers on the ground, like this. Look at this, guys. 19 what?
1980.
1980?
88.
1988. Here you have the stamp or the seal of the Soviet Union. You have Lenin. This is bad. This is going back in time. Let's keep going. We'll set this aside just in case we decide to take it. And so look, there's stacks and stacks of old Soviet newspapers. Who is this guy? Wait, I thought... No. Thought he was...
This is behind Kalashnikov or what? No.
So it looks like this guy was collecting newspapers, right? Because to have this many newspapers, and look, all of them have the sign of Lenin and the Soviet Union. Yeah. Very cool stuff. Up here, there's still hay for the barnyard animals. So basically, the food would be up here. The animals would probably be would live under the food, and it's a house built for humans and animals in the same structure. It's time to go into the main housing room. Let's go. Oh my God, dude. Are you kidding me? Are you kidding me? Just sitting on this chair, guys, you get such a strange, such a weird feeling. You know this was someone's house, of course. But this is an ancient place. It's this material, the smell of it is, it doesn't smell old. It just feels like it was built in a different era. All right, I've made contact with the first really cool artifact of this video, and these are like postcard sent to their family here. Well, you can see the design of it. This is a very unique design. These are probably not made anymore, obviously. But what's awesome is if you turn it around, they are marked by the Soviet postage. And so these postcards were sent from 1966 to 1977. We're going to be taking these two because they have the nicer Soviet stamps in the back, and they do have Soviet style art in the front themselves. The backs are stamped. The front design is beautiful. And these are some things that I'm going to be giving away. And let's continue looking. A lot of the clothes is still hanging from the walls. Let's go into the next room. The furnitures are all here. This looks like an old sofa. Just look at this. One thing I love about the old Soviet houses is that they had these huge storage compartments, like these what are these called in English? I don't even remember anymore. But you get the deal. This is super firm. It's basically wrapped around with metal on the edges. Look at this. It's like a fly swatter. A Soviet fly swatter, guys. Isn't that crazy? This is homemade.
Yeah, it's made from inner tube from a car.
So funny.
Inner tube on a stick. Swap.
All right. A lot of the table is filled with modern things. This looks like a calendar from 2008. And so if somebody was here that were still living here in 2008, maybe, because this is a 2008 calendar. All right.
But they have postcards from 1966.
Yeah, postcards from 1966, calendars from 2008. It gives you a rough idea of what's happening in this village. We are inside in what used to be their kitchen area. There's not a lot of space to walk in here, but just know that the things that I see around me, they all look old. For instance, these glasses, right? This is all looking from maybe 1980s, 1970s. And so we're going to continue this exploration of the village. Let's head out to the next house. A lot of these houses are actually gutted inside, which the one we just got out of is this corner house. And we're walking down the road and we see this house. And I'm just going to show you what it looks like inside. So we're going to continue moving after that. And so the majority of the houses may end up looking like this. Yes, they have some things that are still in the house, but the floor is gone and it's just not safe to go in. So we continue our mission downward. What you can see behind is the only brick structure in this part of the village and in the entire village in general. Now, the interesting fact about this house is that it must have been built pre-Tsar era. Why? Because after the Tsar, the Soviets were building with other colored bricks. The rest of the village is made of wood, so that this brick foundation is probably pre-1917. A very interesting thing that Lars just brought us is that this birch backpack. Look at this design. Of course, there's still people who can do this sort of stuff, but come on, nobody's wasting their time making something like this anymore because they have no use for this type of stuff. But to whoever built it, it surely had a purpose.
Most likely collecting mushrooms.
Mushroom collecting?
Probably, and stuff. All the stuff that's a little bit small, so no, maybe
Yeah.
not. Maybe not actually.
We'll leave this here and we'll continue on the expedition.
Crazy.
All right, guys. I'm just looking through the floor and I found some pretty old photos here. Here, I'll put them on the table so you can see them. These photos, one of them in the back, I think it says 1970, something like this. This photo is actually taken right outside. It looks like the house in front. Now, I think that we are going to the next room, which is the kitchen. And we're going to talk a little bit about how this kitchen is particularly special and unique in its way. I found some really cool military photos that I'm going to be taking with us. Why? Because these will rot out and I can kind of restore them and clean them and either keep them or give them away with some of you guys with some of the postcards. And so I found this really cool kind of certificate of some sort of congratulations or thank you from the Soviet Union to whoever used to live here. And we're also going to take this. This is very, very good condition. It has, of course, linen in the front. I find it very, very unique, and so it's going home with us. And so we're now in the kitchen, and when I was talking about this special oven, it's made of the only material used for this is clay. And here you can bake, here you can cook on the stove. I mean, this whole unit is one major operation. On the back, you can hang your clothes and dry it, you can warm up. This one thing played a big role in this house. And with that being said, let's head out and move on in this village. Let's look at other houses. The things that are made of birch just keep piling up, and the condition that this box is in is incredible. It's incredible. I mean, look how sturdy that is. I'm trying actually to break it. I'm sorry, but this is unbelievable. And so birch is abundant in this area. A lot of these people never had to pay for baskets, for backpacks, for buckets, for anything. Why? Because they made it all out of nature. All right, guys, the word for this is called chest. And I had to wait for Lars to tell me, but he remembered that this is a chest. Now, if you look at the design, the painting and all of this, it's beautiful. It's beautiful. Look at that wood. Comment down below if your babushka had one of these. Have you seen something like this? Do you own something like this? And now the adventure continues. We're going to keep going through these houses. And like I said, if we find something of interest, you will see it. And a lot of these things I will be giving away. If you want what you see, let me know what kind of things I should set aside. We have postcards, photos, newspaper articles. Everything's dated. Super cool. Let's go. They're inspecting the houses to see if they're safe to go into.
Completely gutted.
It's gutted? All right, there's another gutted house, guys.
Maybe check out this one.
All right, let's go. That one looks interesting. Just like I said, some of these are completely gutted. And I hope that I can hit up or go into for 2 or 3 more houses for you guys. And you can see something awesome. After this, we will be going back to the campsite, and the video will continue there.
Be careful what you said on here.
Yeah, a lot of nails on the other one for sure. Let's go around. Oh. Here they were collecting honey. Look at this. This is a honey box. There you have the old honeycombs. Oh, they're gone now, but these used to be honeycombs. Very cool. This house has one of the best floors in all the village, so let's get inside. Let's talk about something that we see in every house, things that are very common. We're going to start off with postcards. Obviously, the internet didn't exist, and even if it did, getting it to this part of the world would be very difficult. Now, some of you guys may be saying, you know, that's very obvious that people used to write letters and that's how they used to communicate. But for some of you guys, maybe who are born after, I don't know, 2010, after 2000, maybe in the idea that the internet existed forever, but that is not so. Also, newspapers, the way that people saw and got the information outside of their family, you know, what's happening in their region, was written in these newspapers. We saw some of the one I took off from the other house. The newspapers was the window to the world for these people in this village. This is another very common thing that we saw. Another thing that I saw that was very, very common, like documents. you can tell these people kept every single paperwork, whether it be from the government, the doctor, anything that was important. They always kept all of the information, bills. I have no idea what this is, but they kept all of their documents. Something that was very funny when I was talking about the documents and how the Russians kept everything. Lars brought up a very funny point and joke. What was it?
It's like in Russian there's a saying, without documents, you're not a person or you're not a human. So, без документов ты не человек.
And there you go, like, this proves it. The mentality that these people had. I have never seen so much documents in one house. Where we're all used to having all our information in a computer now. But even today in Russia, some of these houses were inhabited up into the 1980s. Their mentality probably hasn't changed now. Comment down below if this is still happening in Russia. If you are aware of this saying that Lars said, let me know if it's true.
Senya had another version I never heard.
What was your version, Senya?
I can't say it for
No, you cannot say it now.
Why?
No, because it's bad language.
Alright guys, you get the idea. Senya's version is bad. Let's keep looking at what's inside the house.
Russian people will know.
Bye-bye. Like I was saying, the other oven was made of completely of clay. This is brick here. Lars pointed it out that, you know, this house here has a brick oven, and it even has these metal rods, like basically like beams getting the form. As we come into the other room, it has the same, another oven, and you get into this wide open space.
That's actually where you fire it from.
On the other side?
Yeah.
Ah, yeah, here we go. Check it out, guys. I mean, this is the mouth of the oven. Here you would fire it up. You can see its hold here. It's deep in there. So, I mean, even though this one's made of brick, it's just as fascinating because you have to understand that this heats the house. They use it to dry things. They use it to cook. The oven is a multi-use technology for these people of the village. Guys, on the other house, we found a calendar that was 2008. And between Lars and I, we were talking, you know, this might have been the last year that this village was inhabited, and by babushkas and dadushkas. So what we're seeing here is the last of its kind, the last people that inhabited 2008. And, you know, it gives me a strange feeling in my heart because I remember 2008, okay? And when you can remember a year so clearly, you have to imagine it's not so long ago. But now look at these places. Look at this house. Some of these houses have been gutted. The conditions, they're going worse and worse every winter. And so this is why we're trying to save some of the items inside.
It's Christmas toys for 3. Soviet kids must remember these toys on Christmas tree. Memories.
Really cool. Guys, just Soviet furniture. We see a lot of it. A lot of this stuff could be brought back to life, but getting it out of the village is another thing. Let's move on to the next house.
Definitely not been there either.
This one?
Yeah.
Alright, so we'll check this one out.
Yeah. Right. The animals actually have more space than the people.
Yeah.
Yeah, because here you can see the tracks. Yeah, it's honey.
Really?
Oh yeah, it's honey. For sure. This stuff down in the bottom you can eat.
Oh, that's honey, man.
You can eat it, no problem.
Oh no, the bottom stuff, yeah.
Yeah. It's just because, you know, it's a raw honey.
That.
You can see we have there's a whole comb. Oh, we need a stick, man. Just a second, we need a stick. No. A stick. Let's check it out. Found a little stick here because it looks like we actually have the whole honeycomb down there. Oh, it's super hard. Yeah, what the hell is it down there?
It looks like what the honeycomb looks like, the wax, and it just probably hardened.
It is
super hard.
Yeah, it's really hard.
I poke it. And
But
then
this is also hard.
Hmm.
And it's like the honey itself, like, no.
Oh, there it is.
There it is. It's like crystallized or something.
Yeah, the honey that we have,
I'm not there to taste too much of it. But it smells awesome. It smells good enough. Like, no, it's a little bit fermented.
Smells really
fermented.
good. So to give you a backstory, we went in this house and Lars and I were walking out and I said, hey, you know, there's nothing here. And I saw this and I said, unless, and I passed it on to Lars and he immediately said, hey, wait, this could be honey. Now, another funny part about it is that this was in this house. That guy had honeycombs, like he was harvesting honey. So that this guy probably bought the honey from that guy. We found a house that made shoes. Lars keeps finding a house that had like a birch material. This village might have been self-sustainable amongst themselves.
100%.
It had to.
I think so.
It had to be. And Lars tasted a little bit of it. I'm gonna taste a little bit of the honey too.
But think maybe we should just get this gooey stuff out.
All right, let's
And
throw
see
it
if we
out.
can dig down to the nice part.
All right, good to go. Come look at how it looks. Let me pour it out. Can you come look at it?
I think it's just like crystallized honey.
Yeah. I mean, we have the same exact today in Mexico. This white stuff is what we eat, the wax, and we just chew it for days.
Yeah.
Basically it. Oh, it looks delicious. I'm gonna take this right here.
This is from the bottom. It's like a little bit.
It's a little
bittersweet.
rancid. Yeah, it's a little bit bittersweet, but you definitely taste the honey in it.
Yeah.
We might be drunk after that.
Yeah.
That's like taking a shot of whiskey. Honey whiskey. Let's keep going.
Oh, good deal.
He falls here. And so we've made our way towards the village. We looked at most of the houses. A lot of them were gutted. I try to give you as much information as I could. We are going back to the campsite now. I have all those goodies that we found in this expedition. The majority of this, if not all of it, will be gifts to you subscribers and people who have supported the channel for so long. I really appreciate it. Now let's head back to the car and let's hope for a safe return back to the campsite. Let's go. On the walk back into camp, I had a great live conversation with my new friend Yaroslav from Moscow. I explained to him my life and how I got here to Russia. We made plans to see each other in Moscow in August. I could have never imagined such great times and good people. Thank you, Lars, for such beautiful memories. We're back in camp. We have Lars getting the materials ready for the super soup. I will be showing you one of the best things he's ever taught me and one of the things I'm never going to forget. We're going to go through the process of what the super soup is. A lot of you guys who watch this channel already know, but because I'm now addicted, I'm going to be showing you a lot of super soup for the rest of the time that my channel's alive.
You're going to be sponsored by these guys because you have a lot larger Russian following than me.
Guys, please let me know if you're Russian, if you live in Russia, or if you've ever tasted this.
I shipped downloads of this to the US back when the world was normal.
And for a good reason, because this is delicious. Now let's get into the campsite. Let's start cooking. All right, we have the fire going. We have the super soup with tomato beans. Tushonka skinina, something like this. Canned pork. And let me tell you, I was scared of it, but Lars made me taste it and it was delicious, even more so with onions in there. He's just getting the pot ready, guys. Yeah. It is gonna be delicious.
Then we're gonna use Dennis tomato beans.
tomato beans.
And super soup. And you should never trust an outdoorsman with clean hands.
That's just extra flavor. That's the extra touch, that Lars spice.
Yeah, it's just campfire ashes, and as long as it's not diesel and oil and stuff like that, right?
Exactly. The secret to the super soup is basically you can add anything you want. You saw Lars cutting up the onions and putting in that pork. And then I love having red beans with tomato sauce, so I can never have enough of them. The pot was up to the rim by the time I added the beans. And then Lars came and added all the super soups. I actually gave him perhaps 4 or 5 packs. I don't remember, but the more the better, because the delicious rice taste and the beef taste really makes for a delicious evening dinner. We have the super soup ready. This is basically our dinner. I'm gonna eat this up, and then I'm gonna go into the tent and show you how the stove works. It's delicious.
Come on, baby, light my fire.
Okay, let's do it. It's time to light her fire, and by that I mean turn on the Bedic stove that we have here. I have all the material ready to go, and I'm gonna fire it up for you guys so you guys can see. You know I love using these gifts that Lars gave me, and I'm going to put them to good use right now. Let's get this in there. All right, and just like that, this will have us warm through the night. We have all the materials that we need. Like I said, this is the tent we've been using. Lars has let us use it, and it's worked fantastic for the 2 of us. I hope to have my own one day, because I want to be camping in front of Baikal for you guys. And basically, this is the end of the video. Please do comment below any opinions, any thoughts, any questions you may have. And I appreciate you. Senya appreciates you, right?
Yes.
And we'll see you on the next one.
Bye.